Stay right there. Alright everybody, welcome back to another video. Today, this is going to be a really good video because I've actually just got back from 2 years of traveling. I spent a year traveling down Australia's east coast. I spent almost a year in New Zealand as a farmer, and then I spent a few months in Canada working in retail as a manager and doing a little bit of exploring here and there when I could. And now I just got home just over a week ago, and basically I'm doing this right here, speaking to you guys, lovely people. Hi, my name's Kyle. So essentially the rundown of this is I went traveling because I wanted to learn the skills I needed to be able to work online eventually. Now what that means is having a job where you work on your laptop and you can take your work anywhere in the world that you want to work from. Now I didn't know how to travel. I'd never traveled before I left home 2 years ago, especially didn't travel as a solo backpacker for almost 2 years. So basically what I did was I went to Australia with the intention to learn how to travel before learning how to travel and work online while I travel, because those are two separate things and they're two equally difficult things to do, you know, because traveling ain't easy. This video is going to be about the best job that you can possibly get in Australia while you're traveling, that you don't have to continually look for work. It's a steady income, it's paid to you every 2 weeks, and it gets you out and about, traveling to different places, speaking to people, building your communication skills, building your self-confidence skills, and really just allowing you to mix work and travel. So you're probably wondering what this job is. The job is actually called a street fundraiser, and it's with a company called the Fundraising People. And what this is you essentially stand on the street at 9 AM Monday to Friday until 5 PM, and you basically talk to the general public about your charity that you've been allocated by the Fundraising People. For me, I started in Sydney, and this basically was a charity called CARE. Now, what happens is the Fundraising People work alongside these big name charities. So you have CARE, you have Save the Children, you have Amnesty International, and then you have a few others as well. And what these big charities do is they come to the Fundraising People and they ask them to fundraise on their behalf. So that's basically how it works. Now what you do is you stand on the street, you go 9 AM and you've got a team of people there. There's about 5 or 6 of you on one team, and then you have multiple other small teams like that in various other parts of Sydney. What happens from that point is basically you start talking to the general public, you introduce yourself to them, so you'll see someone come in and you'll be like, hey, how you doing? And then whatever response they give you, you'll be like, hey, by the way, my name's Kyle, pleasure to meet you. And then they'll come over and then they'll start talking to you. And then basically you can use that opportunity to give them the information about the charity that you've been allocated. So essentially what you're trying to do is you're trying to convince that member of the public to donate to that charity for $30 a month. That's what you're trying to do. So you're out there from 9 to 5 trying to convince people to sign up to that charity. So it's really good. Like it's a challenging job. It has its challenges. Now a lot of people are in a rush because they're on the way to work, so they won't stop for you. But essentially the targets with this job is you've got to get 2 people signed up per day. It's a little bit less when you first start. It's usually about 1 person, and then when you get more experience your target goes up to 2. So a couple of other things that this company does is they have a great pay range. So the pay range is from $18 to $25 an hour. Now that's really good, but it's also dependent on your experience. So if you've not had much experience in public speaking, then you're more likely to get closer to $18 an hour rather than the $25 an hour. But with experience, that soon goes up. There's lots of opportunities to progress. So you can actually start as a street fundraiser, and then within a few weeks you could be a team leader. Another thing is it's paid fortnightly as well. So you get paid every 2 weeks, which is fantastic because here in the UK, you get paid monthly. So you've got to wait 4 weeks until you get your pay. And it's not near as much as what you do get paid every 2 weeks in Australia. Australia is a great country for earning money because they pay so well. and they pay every 2 weeks, which makes it just a little bit better. Over and above all this, this company is also really good, and this is one of the reasons that attracted me to the company. That was opportunities to travel on paid trips across Australia. Let's say you start with the fundraising people, and over your first month or two, you prove to them that you're actually quite good at this job and you can meet your targets consistently. So you can consistently get 2 people signed up every day. What then happens is you actually get put into a pool of people, and this pool of people are one of the top fundraisers in the company. And it's not as hard to do as it sounds. Lots of people, and they're always doing it, you always get the opportunity to go on a paid travel trip if you perform well. Now what happens is, I've been on paid travel trips. So my first trip was when I worked in the Adelaide office. I got to fly from Adelaide to Darwin, and I got to spend a week in Darwin, all paid for, apart from my food. So accommodation was all paid for. And I got to go and fundraise in a part of Australia that I would never have went to if I didn't work with this company. And Darwin is an amazing place. So I got to do that. I also got to fly from Adelaide to Wollongong. Now I went to Wollongong for a week, and that was all paid for, and that was great. Then another time I went from Adelaide to Brisbane, and that was all paid for, and that was great. And in Brisbane, I was actually put up with my team of people in a hotel, and it was the Hilton Doubletree. So fantastic, if you ask me. But it's really good. Like literally, if you want to travel Australia, this is a job that will allow you to travel Australia. All right, so this is essentially the job, the best job in Australia, if you ask me, for people looking to travel and work at the same time, and have free paid travel trips to see places for free. Everything that you're going to need to get started with this job is in the description of this video. So the link to the Fundraising People's website, their email address if you want to email them about work, what else? I'll also put a link in the description to job sites that I used, that I actually used to apply for this role in. So if you go to Australia, there's a couple of job sites that are really good for finding backpacker style work, even if fundraising is not something you want to do. They've got loads of things on there, and it's called Backpacker Job Board. I'll link it in the description, and it has quite a lot of casual, temporary, part-time and full-time and permanent work there for backpackers seeking work in Australia. Also, indeed.com.au is a really good site as well. On Indeed, you get a variety of work that you can search for and apply for, including fundraising and yeah, everything else. So it is really good, and I do recommend it. That's basically everything that I have for you. This is the best job to get in Australia, and if you're going to Australia soon, I hope you have a fantastic time. And remember, watch out for your money, budget well. Remember, and always look for a job. Okay, don't leave work till the last minute. Australia is a very expensive country, so always have a job, or always have a job in mind that you know that you can go to. And the reason why I say this is because this has offices in Melbourne, Sydney, Adelaide, Perth and Auckland in New Zealand. So wherever you go in Australia, these people are there, and you can pick up work with these people. So you're never going to be out of work, you're never going to be worried about money, and you're going to have a much better time, that rather than going over there and having to worry about where you're going to find work, where you're going to find money. At least these guys are here and they're hiring all the time, and even if you don't have the skills, you can be hired purely on your personality, and then you can gain all the skills that you need over the next month or two when they train you how to do the job. So it's really good. I totally recommend it, even if you just try it out for a couple of weeks. Totally recommend it. It's definitely worth it. And worst case scenario, you get a paycheck at the end of your 2 weeks, and then you can go and find something else. So definitely give it a try. Let me know if you've worked with the fundraising people before, or let me know if you've done fundraising before in the comments section below this video. Also, if you want to contact me, you can get a hold of me on social media, my email, and also in the description, in the comments section of this video. So have a great day, have a great time in Australia if you're going there. If you've got anything else that you want to ask me, just contact me and I'll get back to you as soon as possible, and I'll see you then. Take care.